5, 4, 3, 2, showtime.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
Hey everybody, it's Wesley here.
And Kathy Coleman. Hi.
How are you? Okay, we've had a really busy couple of weeks, but look, a lot of you guys talked about not being able to hear us, so we're trying these lavaliers, and
We get our little mics.
yeah, we've been
on.
adjusting. We had to get them. They started up here, they were too loud. We go all the way down here. And Kathy, what happened when we put it by your belly button just a second ago?
It was growling, and Slatch, our producer, and Slatch, of course, said he started laughing from the other room, and he goes, "I can hear your belly growling."
I know. So Kathy is an addict. It's horrible. She's addicted to mocha frappuccinos at Starbucks every day. Oh, I just kicked it. It just went. So every day she gets her mocha, right?
And that was a mocha.
Anyway, we just got back from the Star Trek convention in Las Vegas.
And it was fun.
You know, so we've been doing it since I think
2023. Wait, 2013.
2013.
Good Lord.
I know. We missed it for the 50th. We weren't invited because we were not actually Star Trek. And 1 year for COVID, obviously for COVID. So we've done it for like 9 years straight. And it's at the Rio Hotel in Las Vegas. And Kathy and I, because we have to pay our own way to this show, and we also have to buy our own table, we always share a hotel room together. Yes. I think you guys have hopefully seen some of the pictures. But we get
Our slumber party.
our slumber party, 2 queen beds, you know, and we have the best time. And we travel really well together. I mean, we respect each other's privacy. We laugh, we giggle, we play Farkle, which is the new dice game that we love to play. And
we have it down to a really good schedule.
we really do. So,
Yeah.
But the Star Trek convention, people ask, why are you at the Star Trek convention? Because so far, in all these years, they never announced that we're going to be there because we weren't actually in Star Trek. But tell them why we're in Star Trek.
Well, there's a number of reasons. David Gerald, Trouble with Tribbles, he was our head writer. We had Walter Koenig, who was Chekhov, who created Enoch, the character Enoch.
Oh, I got to tell you something about Walter. But see, that's our table for one of the years. Well, that's setting up, and also if you'll look, there's the writers of Star Trek and makeup, yeah.
And that was where I was getting to. So we have all these Star Trek writers. That's one of our major connections.
DC Fontana, Larry Niven, Norman Spinrad.
And then to top off everything else, all of our monsters, Sleestak, Makuni, all of it was created by Mike Westmore. So
Who did all the Star Trek monsters for most of the years.
Right.
But okay, I've got a Walter Koenig story. And Walter Koenig is amazing. And of course, he was one of our writers. And he will stop by our table at the Star Trek convention. He's got his fedora hat and he kind of shuffles a little bit these days. He goes, damn Sid Marty Krofft. I should have gotten residuals for Enoch. I should have gotten residuals. So recently, Kathy and I are doing a show with Sid Krofft, and I said, Sid, Walter Koenig said he should have gotten residuals for Enoch. He goes, we're too cheap.
Yeah, you can't ask Sid for anything that is, anywhere in the subject of money.
No, we of course have been doing a lot of shows with Sid Krofft recently, which has been just glorious, and it has truly, truly been so much fun.
We called him for his birthday the other day.
Yeah, we called him for his
Star
birthday.
Trek convention.
Yeah. So today I thought we'd talk about the Star Trek convention since we've been doing it for so long. It's been crazy.
We have a family there.
Yes.
Everybody, we see them every year, sort of like Thanksgiving, and it's wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, I found out, I didn't really realize this, but we have another Star Trek connection. Leonard Nimoy. Yes.
Oh, that's a big one.
A big one. Spock, right? Thank you. Wait, I gotta get my Spock on here.
Easy, just go like that.
So Leonard Nimoy did the voice of the Zarn In the movie, the Czarn was the character that all sparkly and
Well, he
the Man of
his
Lights.
his emotions.
Right. When you get angry,
Changed
the lights
colors.
became red and stuff. But so
Right.
Leonard Nimoy was the voice of the Czarn in the Will Ferrell movie. Now, let's don't get into the Will Ferrell movie. Although, I got to tell you, when it first came out, of course, everybody was comparing it to our Land of the Lost. They were disappointed. But if you watch the movie now, sort of separated from some bunch of years, and just watch it as a comedy, it's still a heck of a lot of fun. And Will Ferrell was really a very big fan of Land of the Lost. So
Right. And if you think about it, something similar about Land of the Lost and about Land of the Lost, the movie, is there was some big names behind it, like people that signed on to do the movie.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell, Anna Friel, Leonard Nimoy,
Yeah.
The director, Brad Sieberling. I mean,
who
those are some heavy hitters.
Casper the Friendly Ghost?
No, but he also did City of Lights,
City of
which
Lights,
was really
absolutely.
good.
The ending of the movie I had heard, which never happened, was at the end they were going to have the Sleestak people take Sleestak heads off, and it was going to be like Leonard Nimoy, Brad Pitt, all these
Oh,
major
wow.
A-listers
I
were
never
going to.
heard that.
That's what the ending was supposed to be. So
That would have been funny.
wouldn't that have been great?
Yeah.
Anyway, so we've been doing the show now for so many years, and we've had some incredible experiences because not only do we get to meet, I'm a huge Trekkie fan, and there we are. Every year in the foyer of the convention center, the convention puts up some beautiful structure that represents the Star Trek
For that year.
For that
Yeah,
year.
that's fabulous.
Yeah, that was fabulous. There was one year Slats, do we have the Beam Me Up photo? Oh, wait, there's that was this year's, the SDO. So they lost, Creation lost the license, which I think they've gotten it back from Paramount for next year.
This year.
That was this year. So it was just called STLV, which was Star Trek Las Vegas. It was what was it, Trek to Vegas?
Something
like that.
Yeah.
So, but I think next year they actually have the license back, which will be exciting for everyone. But we get to hang out with our favorite stars. And this is one of my favorites. This is a bunch of years ago. We got beamed up, and look, that poor Sleestak didn't make it all the way. Only his head came up.
That's a great photo. I love that one.
Yeah. So over the years, in fact, you have a story that happened this year. You've got to tell us.
Okay, so 11 years we've been doing this. Never once have I seen William Shatner. I know he's there every year, but never have I met him, talked to him. I've heard stories of people, fans that wait in his lines and all the rules that come with it and what they say happens when you meet him, like don't
Right.
talk to him, don't touch him,
Right.
just only answer a question if he asks it of you. So kind of scary and a little intimidating,
Yeah.
right? So there's the convention, and then all around is like the backstage area where like trucks and all kinds of things
The
are
loading
happening.
zone,
And, yeah.
things like that.
And there's the green room back there. And the
Green room is
dressing
where they have like
rooms
food and things like that.
and all the dressing rooms and things like that. So in order to use the restroom, if you're in the convention center, you have to walk like miles
Yes.
to get to it. But there's a restroom in the green room, and I could get there really quick. So I would use that. So I come out of the restroom, and there sitting in a chair is William Shatner. And he's just sitting there, and he has a bag, those Knott's Berry Farm single serve little plastic bags are about like that big. You know what I'm talking about?
With cookies or
Yeah, the little cookies.
Yeah.
He was trying to open the bag of cookies, and when I opened the door, he goes, "Hi," like that,
Aw.
like really sweet. I saw him in his most vulnerable and not weak moment or
Right.
anything like that, but just William Shatner, the man.
Yeah.
And he just wanted to eat his cookies. That was his bottom line. That was his thing at the moment. Just wanted to get that bag open so he could have a moment by himself to eat his cookies. And so it was a one-time shot. So I had to say, oh, that's Paul Camuso, Paul Camuso, who is William Shatner's rep.
He's his rep at the shows. And
Yeah.
he and Kathy have this amazing relationship for years and years.
Yeah.
And the
he's
fact-
a great guy.
And in fact, years ago, So did Shatner say anything?
Well,
to you
yeah,
first?
I know.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
okay.
just gonna get
All
to
right.
that. So opening the cookies, and so I see he's the first one who said hi to me. So I thought, I'm in. You can answer him if he says hi first. So I said hi. I said, is it okay if I just talk to you for a second? He goes, yeah. And I said, we have a connection, and I actually did a show with some of the Star Trek writers, and Mike Westmore was our makeup man. So we have like this little thing, and I said, thank you for letting me just have a minute with you. And he was like, yeah, it was really nice. Thank you. And so I left. But I just thought that was so weird. And then Paul, his rep, came up to us later in the afternoon and said, you know what? You need to see these emails between myself and William Shatner. And William says to him, he says, well, first Paul says to him, I'm at the Star Trek convention with the cast of Land of the Lost.
Right.
And then Bill, let's call him now that he and I are such great friends.
Just Bill.
Yeah. So Bill says, we'll go over to their table and say hello and tell them Bill sent you.
Wow.
So that's really nice. And that was before I met him. And so now it's just like, cigarette in one hand, cigarette in the other. We're best of buddies.
Yep. Well, I did that movie here in Palm Springs called Senior Moment, which starred William Shatner, Christopher Lloyd, Gene Smart. And I just had a cameo. I was at a Mexican restaurant here in Palm Springs, and the producer said, hey, aren't you Wesley? You're be in our movie. And so I got to be with Shatner, and I got to watch him on set. And boy, he knows he knows exactly what he wants. He was so professional. He knew exactly where the camera, where he wanted it. It was almost like Lucille Ball back in the day, who, controlled everything. But what he did was really amazing, professional. But there's another Shatner story that I'd love you to share with your sister.
Oh, the Paul friend of ours, he one year said, because my sister Maureen used to go to the Star Trek convention long before I ever started going. And she was friends with Paul. That's how I actually got introduced to him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No.
And so he knew that Maureen had the biggest crush on William Shatner. One of those, like, almost like that one woman's crush.
Yes.
Just a crazy crush.
Oh, there was a lady that flew in from Europe, from Germany, who came there, and she said, I'm going to meet Shatner. He's going to propose to me. Right?
And then she met him, and he didn't.
He didn't. And she
had a meltdown at our table, like a major. It was really bad.
It was
But
sad,
she was there
very
this
sad.
year, and she was like on the upswing from it. So
Yeah.
that was a good thing. But anyway, so Paul says to me one year, my sister didn't show up. And he says, I said, well, her birthday's coming up. And he said, well, do you want me to get an autographed picture of Bill for her? And I was like, oh my God, I would love that. But, at these shows, a lot of people say they can do things and then they just forget or they, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So he said, what would be fun is if I can get Bill to do a video. Well, now I'm like, oh, that's like crazy cool. But the likelihood of that is really something else.
People pay a fortune for that.
So a week after I got home from the Star Trek convention, I get a FedEx package at my door. One, it's got the 8x10 in it, and another, a little DVD disc. And it's William Shatner at his desk. And he goes, Maureen. And he's looking all over his office. He goes, where are you? I can't find you anywhere, Maureen. Where are you? And he says, oh, there you are. He goes, well, happy birthday, Maureen. He goes, I'm sorry I missed you, but you know what? Happy birthday and da-da-da-da-da or whatever.
Wow.
And it was like a full-on, like 2-minute thing of William Shatner. It was so cool.
She must have freaked out.
I swear I've never in my life seen the shock in her face when I handed it to her.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really lovely. Like you can't really give some people things, they either have it already or, you pick the wrong thing. But that could not have been the more perfect thing for her. And she just was so blown away by it. And she just stood there like a little 8-year-old girl, just like, wow. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And you brought up Christopher Lloyd. This year was the first year that they opened up the Star Trek convention to a few more people, kind of like outcasts like us a little bit, that aren't pure Star Trek. So Christopher Lloyd was there.
Right. But
Mary
he did a Star Trek
McDonnell.
episode, I think.
Oh, he
I
did?
think he did. Yes.
Did Mary McDonnell?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, well, anyway, Christopher Lloyd was
Yeah,
sitting
yeah, they
across from us.
Yeah, Galaxy Quest cast was there. You know.
God, I so don't get that.
That was the aliens. That's how they. I am so happy to be here. Whatever.
Okay,
I
wait,
can't
now
do it.
those aren't the people who run like this, are they? Who are those people that are always jogging?
No. These are the.
Who are the people that always jog?
I don't know.
This you do.
I don't know.
You said to me, look
I
at them. They always stay in character. They do this little shuffle. There's
Well, that
three
is
of them,
okay. They're not jogging. There's like a cluster of them.
and they have black hair.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Okay.
that's
That's
what I'm
Galaxy Quest. That's the
Okay,
aliens from
then I do
Galaxy
know what
Quest.
you're
Yes.
talking about. So anyway, all in all, Star Trek was a good show for
Yeah.
us.
Christopher Lloyd, just a
My son came, Jack, our friend came,
Jack,
Chris,
yeah.
our friend came, Michael,
Silas.
Silas. We had all these friends that show up, and we
Oh, and
Zach
that is a
Westmore.
picture of Mike Westmore. Now, Mike Westmore, as Kathy said, did all of our sleeve stack Pakuni, our makeup. But look, I said he's standing next to his own creation. Now,
yeah.
Now, the sleeve stack came from the imagination of David Gerald, Trouble with Triples, but Mike was the one that executed it and created in his garage. He took the largest wetsuits he could find. He put on the scales and created the head.
He had to like bake it or something.
Yeah.
He was baking scales
Yeah,
and his,
and we saw our son a couple of years ago because he lost all the molds and stuff, but his son found the head mold.
yeah.
And we said, can you please, because it's not plaster of Paris. It says it's not really solid. I said, could you ever make molds for us? I mean, so we could have some original sleeve stack. He said he would do it. He never has. So if you're listening, yeah. And also they're doing a documentary on Mike Westmore, and they've asked Kathy and I to be part of it, which we are extraordinarily honored to be part of it.
Absolutely. And they're happy to have us,
Yeah.
which is nice.
But Star Trek has been really amazing for us, and we have had every year because we can't bring the raft because they never give us the room for the raft. So we try to create something different. Like the Mike Westmore you just saw, we had the giant sleeve stack this year. That was one where we brought the life jackets and the oars. We couldn't bring the raft, but we brought that dinosaur. You put your head inside the dinosaur, and it was a huge
In
hit.
his mouth, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think one of the fans bought it at the end of the show. They wanted it so badly that we sold it to them and we autographed it and things like that.
And those people in that picture were from Mexico. Actually, a life that I had 30 years ago when I lived in Mexico.
Yeah.
Those guys showed up and
But what kind
out
of?
of nowhere.
But you've read her book, Run Holly Run, available
It
on
was-
Amazon.
It was when I was like surfing and lived like a beachy life, and I lived in Mexico for 3 years.
Well, you lived like in the middle of nowhere in
Right,
Baja,
right.
and Kathy used to break horses. She would walk and she would take them into the ocean so they couldn't buck until they finally calmed down, right?
Yeah, with a bandana around their eyes.
Right. And you and your husband, it was husband, right?
Yeah.
Were living there, like and people would
Like
come
really, truly like Swiss Family Robinson. I went into town once a week to get our provisions. We had a well, and that was pretty much it. And people would come from all over the world to surf this wave.
Wow.
And so they would come and they'd stay for a couple of weeks, some of them even a month, and then they'd leave all their stuff behind. And so we just started using we made surfboard couches. We would hang things in the trees, and yeah, we just turned our little campsite into like ice chests or storage bins, and we just it was just an incredible.
Yeah, and you and I weren't in contact back in
No.
those days, so I didn't know anything was going on. And I got to tell you, your book, I can't believe the stories that you talk about. I mean, you've had a life that's just, people ask, what happened to Kathy after Land of the Lost? Oh my God. As she says, put on your big girl pants when you read this book. But it is an amazing story. But we will get to that another day about your book. But
What a weird thing. I mean, not
Yes.
very many people from that time of my life do I still have in my life.
And he showed up again this year.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he did.
And
Yes, he did.
Yeah. And when he showed up and Kathy didn't recognize him the first time. And when she suddenly realized that who this was and this was real, oh my God, I saw her melt. I mean, it was like your past.
It was like acknowledgement of another time.
Yeah.
you know.
Because it was the middle of nowhere. There was no cell phones back then.
Right.
You were on a beach in Mexico, and it was, it was you,
pristine.
the Scorpions, and the Federales.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And you had permission to be on that plot of land because of the
the
landowner.
owner, Don Raimundo, owned it, and he, to this day, I mean, that's my land.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Anyway, so excuse me. Star Trek.
Yes.
So, oh, look at that. Look.
I love this show that we do.
Uh,
It's our summer camp, and we have a ball.
Yes, and look, we actually have a grumpy puppet that we had made for us, along with the dopey puppet. And the sleep sack was a lot of fun this year. It was something kind of extraordinary to have.
He's 7 feet tall.
He's life size because these guys were 7 feet tall in their bare feet, and he's hunched over, and they had pointed heads and stilts on their feet and things like that. But every year we have the most amazing journey with everyone, and they
And
say
our table's like a circus.
yes, it is a circus. We have lights and
Everybody
stuff.
else is sort of like
Yeah,
you
there's
know,
one banner and some
uniform.
photos.
Everybody's
Yeah,
got it all looks the same.
yeah,
And then ours is on the end, and it's like
yeah.
there's lights flashing.
We are the Carney Circuit. I don't know if you guys remember this, but step right up, for 5 cents. Gorilla, gorilla, gorilla. The girl will turn to a gorilla right in front of your eyes. Only 5 cents.
But it's fun.
It is,
I've
yeah.
said it over and over again. If this wasn't fun, it wouldn't be fun to do it.
Yeah, because it's a
Yeah.
long week. We were there
Yeah.
7 nights. But with the Star Trek, with Kathy was talking about William Shatner and stuff, is meeting your heroes. Everybody says don't meet your heroes, you'll be disappointed. And that is the case in some. I mean, we have met some celebrities that we went, oh, really? We expected different. But most of the time, like a Shatner, these unexpected moments, that the human that we get to spend because of our access backstage and having lunch with or whatever. But we'll get to sit with people that I would have never thought, just a kid from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, that I would be part of their world, that I would be invited into the private sort of the sanctum for these
Right.
people. So we're very lucky, and I must say that in all the people we've met on these shows, I don't think there's hardly been anybody that's been a disappointment. Everyone, what?
No, I was going to say I have one more funny little
tell,
person
yeah.
that I met.
Okay,
So this woman, really nice woman, came to our table, and we did like the photo thing and everything. And then she left, and then I had some photos that I had to get for a friend of mine, some autograph signatures. So we had now a break. There wasn't anybody at the table. So I shot across the hall and was standing in line to get this guy's from the Enterprise, Connor,
right?
his autograph for my friend. And so I put the picture down, and he signed it. And then as he was handing it back to me, that lady that we just signed an autograph from,
Yep.
she goes, do you know who you just signed that autograph to? And it wasn't really to me, but
Right.
who you gave that photo to. And he says, no. And she said, that's Kathy Coleman, Holly from Land of the Lost. And his eyes flew open, and he goes, oh my God, no. And he used the word effing really loud.
Right.
Way. He goes, I had the biggest crush on you. He came flying around the table. We took some photos together. And yeah, it was just like, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Yeah.
We get starstruck, some people get starstruck,
Yeah.
for us. And it's a trip.
I know. And when we set up, a lot of the actors, like, who the heck are those people? If they didn't know Land of the Lost. But suddenly they will hear us singing Marshallville and Holly all day, and the lines of people and the things, and suddenly they're like, okay,
Yeah,
we need to
it's
know
Shake
these.
syndrome.
Yeah, we need to know these people, and so that's kind of our Star Trek story. And we're hoping, they got some new Star Trek conventions that are happening. I think there's one in
Nashville,
Nashville,
and one in
Chicago, and stuff like that. We're thinking about trying to go and whatever, and hopefully we'll be back at the Star Trek.
next year.
Yeah, and because the 60th anniversary is coming up. Not sure if they'll let us in for the 60th because we could go for the 50th.
Not ours, but
No, it's
theirs.
the Star Trek, for the original ones. But
that was so cool.
oh my God, Roger, who's the balloon guy? If you can look at that carefully, you will see that is Holly and me in the yellow wrap. And look, he even drew Holly's plaid shirt and her blonde hair. And I'm staying way in the back holding it's an odd-looking oar, but.
He gave you a hairy chest.
He gave me a hairy chest. My chest isn't that hairy. I mean, no, come on, it's not. But he put the
That's
dots.
12 on the balloon.
But we have moments like this all the time, and we're just so grateful that we're part of
And
it.
then he took the time to do that. How sweet.
Oh my God, amazing! So we just want to say thank you guys for watching. We're trying to we're learning. We've got these microphones, which I know some of you were having problems hearing. So hopefully this has helped, and you don't hear her stomach rumbling the entire
I did
time.
good.
You did good. I'm impressed.
I don't think I hit it very
Yes,
much.
you had no mocha rumble.
I know.
Anyway, thank you guys. If you haven't, please subscribe and and share this with your friends and stuff. And let us know what you think. Let us know what we should talk about. We just talked to Phil Paley the other day. He played Shaka. We want to have him on. Of course, we want to have Phil on, and some other guests we want to start having on. So thank you guys for joining in our sort of our little world, and we just appreciate it so much. So
We just want to give back as much as we can.
we do.
So if you want to hear something that, you think we can share with you, then let it rip.
Absolutely, let it rip. So on a let it rip note, we'll say goodbye, everybody. Let it rip. Good acting, everyone.